Welcome back to my series Funai Learns. This is part 2, and this week we'll touch upon the topic of retouching. And retouching is something that usually happens after a photo shoot or a video shoot. And the reason why I chose retouching this week is because I've been having a series of bad acne breakouts. Absolutely devastating. My confidence is at an all-time low. Alright, I'm just kidding. I've had acne for many years. I definitely know how to manage it. But I've always felt like my acne has stopped me from taking portraits, photography, and I want to find a way to work around that. Obviously, the best way would be for me to fully accept acne, but it takes time. I'm not there yet. I definitely want to get there, and I think I will be eventually. It's just I need to figure out this technique anyway because retouching has many applications. Fixing texture, evening out skin tone, all of which is essential to photography, and I do want to implement that in my career, so it's perfect to learn right now. Retouching, I will learn it using Pixelperfect's lesson plan. I hope that's how it's pronounced. So Pixelperfect is a Photoshop channel, essentially. They teach all these lessons, they're masters at it, absolutely wonderful. And it's all free. But they also have a lesson plan on the side. It's kind of expensive, but it's also quite comprehensive. And that is what I will be using for this particular skill. And if you want to access their YouTube channel, I'll put it up in the card here. Disembodied Titan here, and I just want to warn you guys that the audio is going to be of lower quality because this was my first time trying to screen record and I didn't know that it was going to sound like that, so please forgive me. Alright, so this is me showing you essentially the website I'm going to use. Titan, tell him what I'm going to use. Fender Play. Wait. Wrong one. Photoshop Easy. Titan, you had one job. Anyway, so getting back to this, so as you can see, Photoshop Easy. I'm going to be doing the module located right here, module 5, Basics of Retouching, and I'm going to view every single one of these videos, and I'm going to use that to help in my final project. So coming into this assignment, I was super excited. Show them how excited you were, Titan. Yeah, you gonna do some work? You're gonna do some work? Oh my god. Okay, you're gonna do some work? Oh, okay, my bad. No, oh, you really are. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? Oh yeah, my bad. Is it cool if I chill here? No? Oh, should I see myself out? Oh, okay. But jumping into the first part of learning. This was me watching the first video. This was easily the longest video. It was an hour long. I had to get some water for sure. I was watching. I was kind of like looking at it, and I was like, "Am I really learning anything?" So, Titan, what should I do instead?
It is. Alright.
I should do this side by side. Brilliant idea, Titan. I never thought of that. So even after a bit of watching, I thought to myself, "This is gonna be a lot, quite a bit." Look at that, I got my tune! What does he mean by that? Oh, that's what he means by that. Okay, yeah. Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, bro, stop. So I continued to watch with excitement, and very soon I will be showing you the side-by-side view of what I was seeing and partially me trying to replicate the things he was doing in the video. I should mention though that the screen recording only did half of the screen at a time. So while I was doing side-by-side view, it was only recording one portion of that. So sometimes you'll see the instruction video, sometimes you'll see my own practice. If you didn't know who I was talking about before, now you do. This guy is synonymous with Photoshop. He's a wonderful teacher. And we're talking about retouching the skin. So the first thing you need to do is identify the blemishes. And he taught me that by adding a black and white map and reducing the red so you can see all that nastiness.
The skin tones are a little bit yellowish, so you can just increase the yellows, make the dark areas a little brighter. And now it's
as you can tell, this is horrifying to look at. So he told us to never show anyone.
Courageous heart to do that. Okay, so once you have this blemish check layer, you can call that. Let's create a brand new blank layer on top of the background.
Particular portion of the video, he simply told me about the difference between the spot healing brush and the healing brush. So the spot healing brush is the content aware tool that Photoshop has, and often it loses that texture, blurring out the area. And for greater freedom and perfection in your craft, you would want to use the healing brush itself because you get to pick and choose what places replace other places, and it also preserves texture. In addition, he also taught me about the patch tool. I didn't know how to use it at first, but through his demonstrations, I found out that you can use it, and you can select certain areas, like groups of areas, to then swap out textures and condition. So when he was teaching about the patch tool, at first I wasn't quite understanding that you can marquee multiple things at a time and then move it all at the same time, and I was mind blown, and I was like, what? But then when I got it, I said,
We sample this, we circle around it, hold the shift key, and circle around other blemishes too, which are in the same line. Okay? And now, you together take it up to a blemish-free area and release it. Press Ctrl or Command D, all of them gone. So choose what works best for your image, and that's how you remove the blemishes. I'm not going to do the work for you, it's up to you to do it. Now keep in mind, if you just wanted to remove the blemishes and go from there, I would recommend using this technique.
I finished that lesson with astonishment, and then after that we moved on to example image 2, where we utilized that tool to get rid of under eye bags, as I'll display in a very short amount of time. I'm zooming right into this dude's eye, outlining the place that I kind of want to change, and I'm literally grabbing that marquee, dragging it to another part of the skin in which I want that color to be had, and I have all the freedom and control utilizing this tool, and very soon you'll see the real-time effects when I toggle it on and off. First, I wasn't really seeing it, but then when I did see it, what did you say, Titan? Holy shit! Moving on, this clip is about how you can use blending modes to target specific areas within your image. For example, lighting can be used to target the sebaceous filaments underside the nose, and darking can be used for this natural birthmark. Honestly, in this specific clip, I was confused the entire time. One of the faults of my computer is that I do not have true color. My red that I see does not look red on maybe an iPhone, which is what I use to cross-reference to make sure that my color is on point. So I would not be surprised if this video is also off color, simply because I cannot see the true color. This was a really tough exercise because it was all about using the curves adjustment, which you can't see for some reason in the screen recording, and just balancing out the image and the skin tones. So you would look at the image, select a certain area, and either boost up the reds or take down the greens. Like obviously it depends on the specificities of the image, but you can utilize curves to do that by targeting specific color modes. And this is the second part of the curves tool. It's an automated feature where if you just find what should be true gray in the image, it will automatically adjust the highlights and the shadows for a perfect and crisp image. And then we went into the bread and butter of retouching, frequency separation. And to my surprise, he introduced all this by first talking about a scientific principle. My man really brought out a chart to tell us the difference between a high and low frequency wavelength. So the top is the high and the bottom is the low. And in application to images, so the blemishes that we often have, there is more disturbance in the image, so that would be high frequency. And the natural color gradations that you see in the image will be low frequency because there isn't much happening there. And by separating the two, you can work on them individually, all of which are essential for retouching, because you can preserve texture while evening out skin tone and the skin's surface. So I watched the entire module for retouching, and that was easily like 4 hours or something. Like, I did it in one sitting too, so that was kind of a bad decision, but I am on a time crunch. After all, it is 1 a.m. and I am making these videos right now. So I did end up watching the entire module, but I didn't want to showcase all of that because as I'm figuring out as I edit this, I easily have to put these videos into 1000 times speed to get it to a reasonable amount. So what I did do instead was take what they taught me and try to implement that in a picture, and I want to showcase that right now. Jumping right into it, I'm going to be using the technique called dodging and burning. Dodging and burning is a retouching technique that adds dimension to the photo, allowing me to emphasize certain features and or hide it away depending on the shadows and or highlights that I add to it. So it's kind of like live painting because, well, in this photo, a lot of the things I do are unjustified because dodging and burning is not necessary for this particular photo because there are no hard shadows. Everything is pretty well lit. And if I wanted to, as I'm doing right now, I'm emphasizing the highlights. And dodging and burning is often done using the curves technique. And unfortunately, you can't see the side panel for a lot of this editing session. But this whole time, I was applying a curves technique to the image, masking that out, inverting the mask, so then I was painting on a darkened version of the image. And I was also doing that for the other side of the highlights, where I was painting on the highlighted version of the image, just so that many of the highlights and the shadows were natural to some extent. But really, yeah, just a lot of just trying to have fun here, because I had no idea what I was doing, and it kind of shows. I like to say that I gave myself the London look, but I was really also trying to follow the principles of many of the makeup gurus, seeing how they contour their cheeks and all of that. This next technique is so that my eyes can pop more. And it's also doing the same thing of dodging and burning, where I use the curves technique, make the image brighter than it actually is, apply a mask, invert that mask, and then paint on the lightened version. And it's a very subtle effect, as you can see here, but in some way it does add like a bit of spice to the image. I think if I were to do a more stylistic, more artistic, creative eye, like if I was doing like a Naruto thing, I'll do the Sharingan. But I think right now it added some flair. This eye in particular gave me some trouble because I feel like it was popping out a little too much. But like, trust me, bro, I'm looking a little sexy here. Never mind. I'm sorry. So the funniest thing about this particular clip is that it's absolutely terrible. Honestly, because I was after like 4 hours of watching, I was like, what? So I kind of just wanted to have fun. So I kind of gave myself the London look. Like, I don't know. I just, it's not great, but the proof of concept is there. You can see how it transformed my face. And I'm going to do that more seriously in my final project, and that'll be coming up very shortly. Meaning right now. Let's take a look at what I'll be working on today. Hello, how you doing? So let's edit this final picture. I like it. All right, let's just edit. So this is a picture I took kind of a long time ago, and I never had, or I didn't do anything with it yet. I simply just took the picture. Well, I did some things, but I never posted it, so I still have the ability to change a lot of things. So this is the original picture. I kind of color graded it so it'd be more pinkish. And as you can see, that has affected my skin tone as well as the background, because the background was simply a white backdrop. So this is what I've done to it so far. I took out the chair, covered up my feet, because for some reason I just have my feet in all the photos and it's terrible. But I want to do a lot of the facial retouching. I think I did a couple, but as you can see, it's not perfect. I'm definitely going to use that new skin tone correction thing that was stated, because I don't know, there's just a lot wrong with this picture, and we can make it better using the new tricks that I have. But this is my skin. You can just tell that I kind of just use a smart tool. Like, look, especially this part here. One of the things that the teacher was telling me about, how if you're using just like a spot healing brush, it kind of blurs all these things out. It doesn't really doesn't preserve that texture, as you can see right here. Let me mark that up for you. In this section, it's just loss of texture, blurry. And I think at this time I was having a pretty bad breakout. Still am, so that's pretty unfortunate. But these are things that I'm gonna have to correct. Huh. I wonder if I should just correct it. I should just edit the original, yeah. I should, huh? So, see, this is the acne that I was trying to cover up so badly in the first half. I have like this massive bump here. And thinking about it, I don't know if the techniques he taught us are going to really do anything about that. But I definitely can get rid of all these little thingies here using frequency separation. Wow, just a lot. A lot of stuff going on. Also, if I just had a better camera or knew how to take better pictures so it wasn't so noisy. Is that a pimple here too? Man, that was a rough one. So these are all the things I'm gonna have to fix. Definitely gonna need to even out the skin tone. Um, I have redness just because of the acne and all that, and I think I was sweating too. And I'm about to be sweating here because I have to turn off my AC to record this, but my computer's going loud as hell, so that might have been pointless. Alrighty, so we're finally getting into this bad boy. It was a 1 hour editing session. And so the first thing I'm going to do is frequency separation. So having the texture on one layer and the skin tone at another layer. And I can edit these things individually and really not have to worry about one affecting the other. So right now I'm really just grabbing the obvious blemishes, just making sure that I get them out of the way, as well as seeing where the skin texture is even more so uneven and fixing that. I don't know if you notice what's kind of obvious, but the photo itself is like kind of noisy. There's just like grain to it. And I think it's just the way I took the photo itself, and there's really no preventing that. At this moment, I'm going to certain parts of my skin where it should be my natural tone and taking the average number of that. So it's kind of like a back end thing on Photoshop where I'm finding the value of the average skin tone, and then I'm comparing it to the chart that Pixum Perfect provided in his lesson plan and changing it to those values so that it's more it's like the traditional skin tone. And if you could see on the side where I did most of these values, I used the curve tool, picked out a specific spot on my skin, and had those values in all of the spectrums, red, blue, and green. And then after seeing those values, I changed the number to the numbers in that little chart to the side. So right now, once again, still evening out. This is all about making sure that my skin tone looks flat. It's very professional in that way when everything is one tone and very consistent. And I just naturally I have a lot of inconsistencies in my skin tone, so I wanted to fix that. Now we're going to be working on the eye, adding that spice, making it pop, masking it out, basically just brightening the eye. I think that's the best way to explain what I was doing there. And now I will be doing the dodging and burning. As you can see, I'm literally making the whites whiter, highlighting these highlights. And it's just to make it pop certain points. And you know that bump I had? It was casting a rather large shadow, so I had to lighten that up so it didn't seem like it was there. And while I think I could have done a better job, I think I did a pretty good one. Right now I'm focusing on the eye bags, just making them less dark because they were pretty problematic, honestly. I think when I took this photo I wasn't even getting much sleep, still not getting much sleep, so that's pretty great. Oh, that was scary. And just fixing it now. I think you'll really see everything come to life when I compare the before and after, which is actually quite interesting to see how when you're looking at it right now it doesn't seem much different, but when it's side by side you can understand the power of retouching. It's quite spectacular. So you really can't see anything, right? Before and the after. But check this out. It's crazy to see how the inconsistencies in the skin tone have been addressed as well as the blemishes. But if you couldn't see that, I'm going to put this into black and white. I'm going to drop down the red and you'll be able to see everything. Wonderful, isn't it? Thank you so much for watching my video and watching me learn about the process of retouching. Retouching is an essential photography technique for anything, models, products, just because you can have even texture and color. I noticed that my video was a little bit more technical, and that partially has to do with the native software I was using for my computer to screen record. I simply could not show all the technical things I was doing, and also I didn't go into depth about the jargon I was using as well. I've been using Photoshop for 1 to 2 years, so I kind of know some things, and I never fully explained that to you, and that's something that I will definitely be looking to correct in future videos. But, I hope you enjoyed and got to at least see the power of these things. And if you want to learn about it, I will be putting details in the description as well as linking to that Photoshop guy because he is an expert. Besides all that, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day.